Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. It seems like a long old week since I spoke to you last time about Labour of Love, but here we are, episode 5. Where do you want to start today?
Well, Dave, I think we need to start with the man who's literally gone through the whole 5 episodes and he's not had a date. And he's still not had a date with Christy, Dave, because good old Keith was summoned to have a chat, which wasn't, I don't know whether it was planned or not, but she's booted him off already. And I find that utterly bizarre that there's people there that I didn't think deserved to go. Like, look at Matt last week, there was a bit of a connection, whereas Keith never got a date. He was quite right to question it. Why the fuck haven't I had a date and all this? But no, she just went, I don't like your temper. See ya. And it was like, he was gone.
Yeah, I mean, I had to look back at my last week's notes, and right at the top there, I've got Keith a bit feisty.
Yeah.
I think he proper talked himself out of that, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know, he was the one who says, he's a bit fiery, and obviously Christie's got some previous, from her ex-husband, who's a bit fiery as well. So who knows, how fiery that got, but clearly it triggered her a little bit. So, even though they got kind of interrupted, they couldn't finish that initial chat. They had to kind of go off, and she wanted to pull him for another chat. And I think when someone's asking you about how fiery you are, and sort of got some doubts about it, I think the last thing you probably want to do is get all on the defensive and get all angry about it,
Yeah.
So I don't know if going into that chat, Christy had it in her mind that she was going to send him home. But honestly, when he was questioned about it, and it was like, this first case, this happened, and there was no conflict about it. And this second case, he's getting all agitated and angry about it. And so I think, it was his reaction more than that use of the word. He could have kind of talked about passionate he is, and in terms of his sporting life or something like that. I think he could have talked his way around that, but yeah, he fucked it, Chris.
Yeah. he fucked it, but then in true Keith style, and I don't necessarily think Christy was wrong what she did. It's just a firecracker. His mum even said it, didn't she? Like, oh, you have to leave him alone. You just let him get it out. And I'm like, yeah, this is just, my brother's very much the same. You've just got to let him go through whatever ridiculous fucking temper tantrum he's going through, and then he comes back down to earth. Usually about 5 months later, Dave. But anyway, but his mum said it, and he went out on his shield. He was like, he just played exactly the type. He went, Stewart and Gary are the only genuine ones. I thought he said Trent was a bully, but Sam said I don't think she did. I think he said baby. He said Trent was a bully.
A boy or something.
Oh boy, maybe a boy then. I couldn't understand what he'd said. He slagged Trent off. He said Kyle's only interested in himself. And then Marcus, he said something about as well, did he? So I found that it was just like, well, if I'm going down, I'm going down fighting. So, I mean, because what was interesting, he said all that. And obviously, just before it, Trent had gone on a date with Christy, hadn't they? They'd done the whole Dirty Dancing Time of Your Life thing. It looked like they were in like an Alton Towers entrance, and the next bit was a full. He even finished off with a forward splits like Patrick Swayze, but that seemed quite genuine. And Trent, I thought Trent for the first time since I've watched this series, he come across quite well, and I think Christy bought into that as well. I don't think he did anything wrong.
No, I mean, to be honest, when I saw that, before they got into the Dirty Dancing stuff, it was all around, it was like a fairground type thing with loads of games, wasn't it? And I thought, well, fuck me. If she's a bit concerned that Trent is a big kid, then surely, why take him on a big kid type date? But like you say, I thought he played a blinder. I thought he showed a different side to him. He's been a bit of the house clown, hasn't he, before? But no, they had some good talks, and they were having a laugh as well. And no, I think he had a good connection with her on this date.
Yeah, I do. I really do. And I think it was nice to get that bit of thingy for Trent because he's been a bit of a joker and he's been on the sort of outskirts with all the way through this. And what's interesting, Dave, is he's quite a big guy, but because Kyle and bloody Stewart are massive, Kyle's 6'8", Stewart's 6'6". I think he's about 6'3", 6'4", be tennis coach. He looks tiny to him. He looks tiny, and he's obviously not. I mean, that leads on though. I've got to say, I did laugh when they said about, and we'd seen it building up that they were doing this sort of Labour thing, but they also had shown us through the whole PR stuff from this last week on the Twitter and the Instagram that they were going. Not the Twitter, sorry, Instagram. They haven't got Twitter, I don't think, but they were just showing like VTs of him training with someone at a CrossFit thing, didn't they? So all the guys are there. They're all like,
Yeah.
Stuart's going, "Yeah, I'm 6'6", me. I'm an athlete," and then you've got Kyle, yeah, I've had 5 hours straight. I've done training, me. He's a volleyballer and all this. And then they turned them round, and that guy's had the big gearhead. The guy who runs the gym, and then it's like, nope. You go in and put TENS machines on your stomach and pretending you have a
Yeah.
baby. Now, Dave, I know Stewart has been kind to retweet stuff we've done here, but I've got to call him out, and I'm happy for him to call me out on this because it is me who runs our Instagram for CD Realitycast. But when he said to Christy when he had the TENS machine on, and he was soothing one of Marcus, because Stuart picked Marcus because Marcus is a doctor. He'd been in, maternity ward rooms, everything. So he's been there, and he was really calming with Stuart. But then it was when Stuart was on his go, and he went, "You're so worth going through this pain, or you're worth the pain." And I was like, "Oh, fuck me." It was so, it seemed so fake to me, and just like completely like what Christy wanted to hear. However, obviously Keith said he seems genuine. I am not convinced by Stuart. I just think he's playing the game at the moment. And obviously we've only got one more episode, Dave. So you can correct me, and I'm happy for Stuart to say, but I just thought that was so cheesy, and I'm not convinced he's as genuine as what they're saying.
Uh, I don't know. I mean, the thing, he says all the right things, doesn't he?
Yes,
Very,
exactly.
very smooth, and I don't think he's really put a foot wrong.
No, no.
Um, it's funny because when he said, my ears pricked up as well when he says I'm 6'6". It's like fucking hell. All of them must be really tall then.
Yeah.
Like you say, even Christy, um, like tall for a girl. But yeah, I didn't think it was cheesy as such, but I did wonder about the authenticity of it, because it's difficult for us to gauge how much time has passed, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
So are we talking like, so it's episode 5? Have they gone 5 real weeks in real time, or is it less than that? I don't know, but it certainly seems like there's not enough time that's passed for him to have, those kind of genuine, deep feelings for her. But honestly, Chris, whether it's real or fake, I think it's working.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look, Dave. I've never really had a reason to doubt him, but there's been a few times where he's thrown in the odd comment. He's done everything that she's asked, and he could be the nicest bloke in the world. However, it's just them couple of lines that he said have really stood out as just like you said, not being himself. Like the line about the baby, and it was like, "What would you prefer, a boy or a girl?" And he's like, "Oh, this is so difficult," and it's like. No, it's not. You're just trying to think, what would Christy want me to say?
Yeah.
Just be yourself. If she loves you and she wants to be with you, she will be with you. And that's what I just found a bit bizarre. But also, forget Stuart's done his bit, and that's like thingy with him, Dave. I'll tell you one person who shouldn't be going with Christy and shouldn't be having a baby, and he's turning into all kinds of Mr. Stalker, is Marcus. Now, he's writing songs. He stood at the window watching a kiss, Kyle, when they were on their date. And and he was so weird. And he's like, "Oh, I don't understand that. Why she?" And when Stuart sat with her and she had a hand on Stuart's leg and all that. And she was like, he proper goes like he's dead jealous with her. And I'm just like, but you're not a couple. All right, she's kissed everybody. It's part of the show. If you watch The Bachelor and that, it's exactly the same. He proper, for me, is giving off stalker vibes here, Dave. I'm telling you.
Maybe, yeah. I think you're right. I mean, I think they had a really good date, didn't they? That first date went really well. She was definitely a bit taken aback with Marcus, and it looked like he'd play a bigger role, but he's kind of taken a bit of a back seat. But the thing is, they've not really had that many dates at all, have they? Old Keith got booted out without having a single date. So again, it comes back to just having this short amount of episodes. 6 episodes, and then that's it. She
Yeah,
hasn't got time to go on individual dates with everyone. So, think about when we watched Singletown. Sophie went on what 6 or 7 dates or something with
yeah.
Mason before they went to Barcelona. So I don't know. It's all a bit strange for me, and really compressed. But yeah, Marcus is definitely sort of feeling a bit sorry for himself, isn't he? He's got those possessive, jealous feelings, definitely. And I think, he got the talk at the end, didn't he, along with Gary? And I
Yeah,
think he's kind of he's one of the weaker ones, isn't he? I don't see him out in front at all. I think Kyle, who went on the other date tonight, I think he's in a strong position. They had a quite long kiss, didn't they, tonight?
yeah.
And I think Marcus is probably gonna have his heart broke, to be honest.
I do. I did say, didn't I, that Gary's a little bit of a dark horse, and I thought he messed up his chances tonight because
Yeah,
the way he spoke to her, but she seemed to go for that. It's the first time we've seen Gary be assertive as somebody in the show. And when I watched that, me and Sam were like, "Oh, he's fucked it now. He's gone."
yeah,
But however, Dave, I will say as well that what is really apparent now, and Sam said it straight away, is there's just not enough episodes. It was a bit like
yeah,
Too Hot to Handle, where you're going off like, there was 10 episodes or 8 episodes, whatever there's Too Hot to, I think it was 8 on it. There was some of that, but there just wasn't enough
yeah,
investment. And I think that's what I'm struggling with this, because as we come to the end of the show, is the fact that we're literally there and we don't really know much about the guys.
yeah, yeah. No, it's right. I mean, 6 episodes. It's just not enough, is it? So, I think I'm trying to think. The Bachelor was that something like 20. Bachelor South Africa. It was somewhere on that order, and you could get to see the different personalities there, not only how they interact, but together how they react when they go on dates and stuff. So you're right. I don't think it is enough. It's still been a lot of fun to go through it.
Oh, yeah.
I think they peaked at episode 1 though, realistically, didn't they? With the old jizzing in a cup thing.
Yeah, I don't think that could be eclipsed unless the final episode was Christy actually having a baby, Dave, and we got to see that live. I think
Oh
I
God.
thought imagine they did that over a year, 18 months. That was the whole show. Picking a date, getting pregnant, and having the baby. That would have been the ultimate reality show, But
But yeah, I tell you what, Chris, I was wincing when they were going through the labour pains. I know we
oh
mentioned it
god,
before, but fucking hell,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't need to experience it to know that it's fucking painful. I did it 3 times, and it was horrendous. And so yeah, don't need to go through it myself.
No, 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 exactly. And I've made the old typical man joke, like, "Oh, it's hardly anything to Sam," and got the stare of death, Dave. So I just shut up at that point.
It's like a bit of light cramp.
Paper cut, yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, nicked myself shaving the other day. That was as bad.
Yeah, see
Dink.
what's up. Yeah,
The sledgehammer comes right
yeah,
down.
it's like Monty Python, but, no, it's interesting because 'cause we're going to the last one now. It's the last episode. What's your predictions then, Dave? I've got a running order that I think I've got a little bit of a curveball who I think might win it.
I think Stewart is definitely in pole position. She's definitely, more touchy and feely with him. She did make a little comment, I think, almost sort of questioning whether he should be feeling like that. Sort of getting at what you were saying. How authentic is it? So that'd be the only thing that had tripped them up. I think after that, probably Kyle. I think is looking quite strong at the minute. Trent, I don't think he's done enough. He's shown a different side to himself, but I think for the other episodes, he was acting the Joker, and I don't think that's gelled particularly well with Christie. So yeah, I'm just going to go for those two. What about yourself, Chris?
Well, I'm thinking that the guy I predicted all along as the little bit of the secret assassin, Gary. I think Gary is going to come from nowhere. Marcus is out the game without a doubt. I don't think there's
Yeah,
anything there. She's going to pick Trent as much as I thought they looked pretty good and the date went really well. I'd be so surprised. Stewart, I'm just not buying his candy, Dave, at the moment. I want him to bring the fire in the last episode. I just don't want it to be that he's constantly saying the things that she wants to hear. Be
yeah,
himself. So, it'd be interesting how it goes. But I'm putting my outside bet on Gary.
right. Okay. So well, I'll narrow it down to one. I do think Kyle is my outsider, but Stuart, I think I'm going to say, yeah, I,
He's,
I
he's won. Yeah,
I think he's one. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And it'll be interesting with this. And this isn't like I'm having a joke about having a baby and stuff, but I want to know how serious the relationship is. We've invested in this show. And I know reality stuff like Love Island, we always slag it off saying they're all fake romances. Singletown wasn't. There's still people still together. There's only a few Love Island ones across every show that they're still together after all this time.
Yeah.
But with this, I want to know, is this fucking real or not? Because obviously we follow all the guys on Instagram and we follow Christy as well. So they will post something up after the show with the partner, whether they're not even together, but they're going to have to go the PR stuff afterwards, you know, like the validation of it and stuff and all that. So I'd be interested to see whether 3 or 4 months down the line we get the old, yeah, we just weren't compatible, you know, and all that sort of caper. So I'll see what, I'm not saying they're forcing Christy to have a baby with, say, Stewart or Kyle or whatever, but what the investment is it real sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's high stakes, isn't it? You
Yeah.
know, I mean, what's the kind of time period do you think they're thinking? You know, like, is the final show? It's like, right, Stuart, you're the winner, right? We've got a special bed for you back here. Like,
Yeah, if we're
on the
going
job, you pop.
when we do the reunion in 3 months, we want to be able to do the baby reveal as well with all the cast. You
Yeah,
know, it sounds so far fetched, and I'm not trying to be facetious and hanging, but I'm just the pretense of the show is great to watch, but then when you actually think real time, real life stuff, it's a hell of a commitment
yeah,
to go into.
yeah,
It is,
absolutely.
it is. So we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, well, hopefully they'll have a like reunion episode. So obviously this is all filmed pre-lockdown. Maybe we'll get like a reunion type episode where everyone will have the old AirPods in and
Yeah.
stuff, and we'll find out how they're getting on. So, but Chris, can't wait. I know that is the one disappointing thing that there's not enough episodes, but it has been fun to go through.
Yeah, it has. It's been great, to be honest. It's been really good, and I think it's just something slightly different because obviously we're doing Love Island now, aren't we? So you know that's our bread and butter. That's what the whole show was created on, wasn't it? Love Island.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's going to be good. So no, we'll see, Dave. It's the penultimate episode, and we'll see how it goes next time. So, guys, if you want to contact us at cdrealitycast on Twitter, at cdrealitycast on Twitter again. No, that's actually incorrect, Dave. cdrealitycast at gmail.com. That'd be easy, wouldn't it?
Don't get Instagram.
Instagram is CD Reality Cast. Get over on Instagram, guys, as well. We need some more followers because we've only just started policing it and throwing stuff up there. But we are following all the cast if you're sort of interested in their lives and stuff. Not just on Labour of Love. You've got the Love Is Blind, Too Hot to Handle cast. You've got Love Island, England, Australia, America. We've got them all on there. So give us a follow and try and get more people over there for us.
Awesome. Now, Chris, it's the last episode of Labour of Love next week, and so I'm quite looking forward to it. And but we've got a whole bunch of Australian Love Island in between that now and then, haven't we? So can't wait for that one as well.
I know, it's going to be great this week. We've got really good... we have to get a day off tomorrow, Dave, anyway, so it's even better, isn't it?
Yeah, happy days. Don't know what to do with myself.
I'll see you next time.
Bye now.